This is the Action Movie Guys podcast, bringing you action movie reviews from across the decades, plus box office numbers and insight like never before. And now, your hosts of the Action Movie Guys podcast, Alex and Nate.
Welcome, everyone, to a brand new episode of the Action Movie Guys podcast, episode 247. We are tackling a brand new franchise. We are starting a Marvel movie. That's right. But not one that starts in that universe. One out of the universe. One that started the rated R, I think rated R horror franchise, maybe I could say, with a little thing called Blade from 1998. I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. My co-host is
Nate from Netflix Reviews.
All right, Nate, because I know last week you gave us a little bit of the insight of you as a kid, how you kept rewatching, but let everyone know, how long has it been since you've seen Blade?
So I haven't watched it in a long time. We did a, back when we were doing Should You Upgrade, we did a disc review of this, but I didn't watch the movie. I just put it in and went to scenes so I could look at the audio, the video and stuff, but I didn't sit and watch the whole film. So it's been a long time. Total transparency. Like I said last week, I watched this movie almost every other week when I was in middle school, 7th grade specifically, before school in the morning. So I have seen this movie so many times. However, as an adult, I have not rewatched it much. I've actually seen Blade 2 more, probably. So I'm interested to talk about it because I feel like I saw it with new eyes as a grown-up.
Yeah, it's funny. Rewatching it this week, I felt very different about the movie. It was weird. Like, I'm not in a bad way. Sure. Maybe in a bad way, maybe in a good way. But I felt very weird, like, watching it. I was, like, catching a lot of stuff that I was like, man, I hate our scoring system. Because it just destroys a lot of movies. Yeah, it makes it so much bad. Anyway, the last time I seen this movie is when the 4K came out.
Okay.
That is the last time I watched it. So I remember liking it. I remember the transfer was actually really good, and the audio is really good also on the transfer. For those of you that don't own it, I recommend it. Pick it up. It's still available, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Not the steelbook. Nope. You can get the regular cover without the slip. Yeah, regular plastic. The steelbook is all gone. Other than that, let's get right into it with the critics and the audience and see what they say about this first Blade movie.
You know what? Every now and then we pull up, I pull up these Rotten Tomato scores and I get a little shock. I get a little surprise. This is one of those times. I was very surprised, not so much with the audience. I was surprised with the critic score, okay? Because I thought this movie was way more popular. It's popular with everyone I know in my age group. Maybe that's why. Because this has a 57% critic score. And I'm like, that's kind of low. I thought this was more well-received than that. It could be one of those things where maybe at the time it wasn't as well-received. And now, looking back, maybe. I don't know. Audience score, much better. 78%. That's more along what I, would imagine. But 57, I was pretty surprised.
Yeah. Well, 57 is a very surprising number, especially for this type of movie at that time where club music was very turning into like that. They were using like remixes into techno, like boom, boom, boom,
Love when they go in the clubs. I love when they. We'll talk about it in a second.
Yeah, we'll talk about it in the movie. All right, so with that said, let's get right into it. Wesley Snipes, lead character Wesley Snipes playing Blade.
Oh, yeah. My boy, Simon Phoenix, a.k.a. also Blade. Look, I love him in this movie. I think, I know they're remaking it or rebooting it or whatever, and I love Mahershala Ali. But Wesley Snipes, and especially in the first two, he is Blade. He is Blade. He looks like Blade. He sounds like Blade. He fights awesome. He was jacked in this movie. He has some one-liners, but not too many. And they're used sparingly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was good, but I love the character. I think the character is great. I think the whole idea of his mom was bit while she was like pregnant. And so he came out with like abilities of a vampire, and the thirst, but also can go out in the daylight and stuff, which makes him this like boogeyman type character to vampires. Awesome idea. And this is from a comic book. Like you said, this is a Marvel. I think you're right. I don't remember an R-rated comic book movie before this. I would also wager that in 98, a bunch of people didn't know this was a Marvel comic book character. I'm 100% sure of that. Sure, it comes from a comic, but a great source material then, as far as the premise goes. I gave him a 5. I think it's a great character. I do think that they could have done, they gave him enough backstory with the mom stuff, even though it gets a little weird in the third act, which we'll talk about in story. But yeah, I love him. I love Blade. I think he's awesome. I think he looks cool. He fights cool. He talks cool. He does everything cool. He's just a cool character, and I really like him. So I give him a 5.
Yeah, I'm with you on this boat. I put a 5 on this guy. I was watching it. I'm like, Wesley Snipes is awesome as Blade. And what's crazy is not many sequels, right? You got 3, but literally you could have made like 8 with this type of character. You could have continued going, or you could have even infused him into this cinematic universe version of the Marvel cinematic. But again, in terms of this movie and where they were going, I think it was the right choice, the right property, the right time for this type of movie. And I could even wager saying that if he never had his shit that he went through, I think Blade could have been continuing on. Or let's just say he did, well, whatever happens with him, I'm still shocked that the character Blade was not introduced to us even earlier. Like with this type of IP. I'm very stunned with that because Wesley Snipes did an excellent job. And you're right, his jacket is cool. His sword is cool. I love his guns. I mean, it's like unlimited ammo, silver bullets. And the only thing you forgot was that, yeah, he could walk the daylight, but he's immune to garlic, silver, everything that vampires are like.
He has all of their strengths and none of their weaknesses.
Yes, that's what Whisker said. Yeah, he has all of that. Yeah, and that's a perfect blend. I just wish that we got more of that character coming up against more vampires in the films. But I mean, you do get the other sequels, which we're going to talk about. But in terms of this movie, I wanted to see more because there was this one scene in this movie. We'll talk about it because it's one scene in the movie that I was like, they used it, and then that's it. That was like the last time we got that type of feel of it. But we'll talk about it down the line. Wesley Snipes was amazing. I liked him. He has the look, the feel, the mannerisms, and then the fighting style. I thought it worked so well. And you could tell he was having fun with this character on screen at the same time. The only thing I will say is that girl was annoying. The other, I know you didn't bring it up.
Yeah, I don't love her either, though. Especially when she stops him from shooting the cop like early on. It pisses me off every time. Even when I was younger, I was like, well, let him. And then when he's like, you got to be ready to pull the trigger. I love that line, like the way he yells at her. I was like, good, yell at her because she's annoying. You're right. Yeah,
she was annoying. And I don't even think I ever seen her again after this movie.
I don't know her in any other movie but Blade. That's it.
Yeah, that's it. But anyway, with that said, I gave it a 5. You gave it a 5. Main villain. Now you got Deacon Frost.
Yes.
But then you got other vampires here. So you got like head vampire, legendary vampires and all this. But I'll let you take over.
Yeah, I did go with Deacon Frost. There's that guy that Udo Kier plays, the dude with the blue eyes that they end up taking him to the beach. And his death scene's pretty awesome. But he's like kind of like does nothing. He just like he slaps him and he acts like he's all whatever, but he gets taken out real easy. So yeah, I went with Deacon Frost, and you're right, very many like henchmen. You got Donald Logue as the guy who keeps getting his arm cut off.
I love his character.
He's so funny in this. I'm gonna be naughty. I'm gonna be a naughty vampire god. He's so good. Yeah. I like Steven Dorff in this movie. I like him. I thought I was this is one of those times. There's a couple of these categories where this happened. I thought I was gonna give him a 5, but rewatching it, I didn't. I gave him a 4 though. I do think he's good. He's very over the top. He's chewing the scenery like, I mean, it's nobody's business. He's like doing Al Pacino here. He is like, look at Wesley Snipes and how he plays Blade. And then look at this guy and how he plays Deacon Frost. However, I think it works. It works because if they're both exactly the same, like they're both brooding and all, then it's not as good. I like his over the topness. I don't love it. The reason I didn't give him a 5 is he's just sort of like drops in the movie. And what I mean by that is there's no backstory. He's there. You know, he's been around for a long time. The most amount of backstory you really get is that he bit Blade's mom. That's it. You know what I mean? Like other than that, there is nothing from like, where did he come from? How did he get where he is? What is his, like why are people so known about him other than you're just telling me he's like important? And I don't really like movies that do that. I like when the villain sort of earns that. I don't think he ever truly earned it in this movie. But I do like watching him. He's pretty formidable. The other thing that keeps it from a 5, the last fight. I mean, this dude does like a couple of slaps. You could tell he ain't no martial artist. So he does like a couple of slaps and he does this jump, like this vampire jump thing and just dies. He gets turned into a giant bubblegum and dies. So I gave him a 4. I do like Deacon Frost, but I don't love him.
Yeah, when it came to Deacon Frost, I agree with you. I didn't give him a 5. I gave him the 4 because he did fight Blade. And he was okay. I thought he was like an over-the-top villain in this one. But yeah, you're right. I mean, my only thing was that I didn't like about this movie in terms of the vampires is that the head legendary, like the head guys or whatever, they were original vampires or whatever you want to call it.
Pure bloods.
Yeah, the pure bloods. They wasn't as strong. Like, this guy just punked them around. Like, he was just a guy who got bit by the guy who was remember Frost, I was born a vampire. And I was just like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Him, that guy? I was just like, I didn't like that. I was just like, this guy's just punking people around. Like, just think about it in the underworld. Like, my man Victor would have choked him out.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Or the other guy, Lucian or Brandon or whatever.
Gangster, yeah.
Like, those guys would have whooped this guy's ass and showed him, like, dude, you don't talk to us like that because we were born a vampire.
Yeah.
Right?
Marcus.
But anyway,
Marcus is the other one you were thinking.
Marcus is the other one. That's the one I was talking about. Marcus didn't, I mean, anyway, we did that whole franchise already.
Blade
we
versus
all agree.
Underworld.
Yeah, we both agree that the villains were way better than what they should have been in that franchise.
Yes.
But anyway, the villains was okay. They were decent at best, but I will give the performance of the character. Was it over the top? Yes, but he was like those typical villains where he has the henchmen, he'll send them after Blade, but then he'll get his hands dirty because he has the powers at the end. So I gave him the benefit of the doubt and gave him the 4 on that. But
he also goes outside looking like powder, all super white.
Oh my God.
When he goes in the sun, he put on like mega SPF 1 million suntan cream or something.
Dude, you cannot tell me that he couldn't have got died from a sun. Remember when he threw the girl through the freaking hot dog stand?
Yes.
Into the street? You couldn't sell me on that.
He gets a 4
but
just
anyway,
for throwing the girl through a hot dog stand.
Yeah. I thought he was good. He was great for the role. Steven Dorff was okay. I never thought he was a good actor, Steven Dorff.
Me neither. This is my favorite role He's been in. He was like in 1 or 2 other things. I thought he was okay when he's older, like now. But like early, this was the only thing I liked him in all the way until like 2018 or something like that.
My wife showed me a movie with Steven Dorff, and he was a kid. I think it was called The Gate. Or something like that.
He was a little kid.
Yeah,
I remember.
He was okay in that. But you're right. He got way better in this one. But yeah, all right. Well, let's get to where I know you want to talk about the action scenes.
All right. So here's another one. Now, it didn't necessarily affect my score, but it affected my thought process. I thought this movie had way more action than it does. It is a lot of talking in this movie. And that's fine because when the action does hit, it's freaking awesome. I love the opening in the club. This movie has 3 or 4 extremely memorable scenes. Like extremely, like if you see this movie in 10 years, you'll remember that scene in the club when the sprinklers are spraying blood everywhere and Blade just shows up and just starts killing everybody while that techno music plays? It's awesome. I love the part where he's standing on the wall and throws a little boomerang thing and he catches it after he kills the other one. Look, the director, Stephen Norrington, he made this guy look like $1 million in these action scenes. He really did. He looks like $1 million. I love that action scene is great. I love the one where he fights the little girl. Doing the karate fight with the little girl vampire. Awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of good action scenes, really well done. There's the shooting scene when he shows up with the guns, like the gun you were talking about with it kind of looks like a Uzi, but like different. I don't know, it looks like a big square, like a block. It's awesome. My only gripe, it didn't hurt the score, but my only gripe is the finale. I love when he bites her and gets on steroids and fights all the vampires, but the last fight is pretty underwhelming. The Steven Dorff fight. It's pretty underwhelming, honestly. I still gave it a 5 though, because this the way it's shot, the way it looks, the way it sounds. Wesley Snipes, like I said, he looks incredible. 5.
I'm jumping on that bandwagon, bro. I gave it a 5. It was the, how do you say it? The action scenes when they pick up, it's not like they pick up a little bit. Mm-hmm. When Wesley Snipes is fighting these guys, he is actually literally kicking their ass. And I liked it. It's not like the typical superhero movie where they punch him and they have super strength and they fly. Not superhero, vampire movies where they show their strength and speed. Wesley Snipes didn't. You see certain scenes that when he punches them, they'll fly through the wall, like when he kicks them really hard. I'm like, that's cool. But when he's doing the Kung Fu, it's like a Kung Fu movie. He's literally doing it. I love the scene that he's walking that building where he's walking through the building and he's just fighting all these dudes. Mm-hmm. And then they start tasing him.
Yeah.
That scene is, to me, is one of the best fighting scenes in the movie. Then you have the other one where Whisker saves him. Mm-hmm. Remember, he was like, "You always have a plan." And then he
drives through the wall.
Yeah. And then he's helping them out. He's shooting everyone.
Yeah.
I thought that scene was really good. The bloodbath scene is the best scene in the movie. I don't care. Anyone can tell me. Yeah, you have that whole fight scene that he's fighting and he has the swords and he's doing that. That's all cool and dandy. But that blood, to open up a movie where a hot chick takes a dude and you're going into a club and then you see a DJ with a bloodbath sign in the back. And then you start to hear New Order's music, the boo-ba-doo-ba-doo, and you're like, oh my God. And then all of a sudden you see Bloodbath. And I love the way he did it because it didn't look fake. I love like how everyone was drenched in blood before they turned into vampires. Like it didn't happen instantly. Like he had to walk around. He's like, oh. And then you saw that. And then they kicked him and then he crawled to bleed. And they went, oh, it's the Daywalker. And I said, oh my God, they all knew they were going to get their asses beat. And I love that joint. And that's the first time to me, is the first time ever seeing a dude getting shot and they turn into dust. Like you see their bones. Yeah. And I thought that shit looked good. You know what? Even watching it now, I thought the effects looked pretty good. Some scenes look bad in terms of CGI.
I thought most of them looked good.
Yeah.
There was a few that looked kind of crap. But
but I thought them turning into dust, I thought that shit would look crazy good. Yeah. You see the flames going up and then they turn into bones. I was like, yeah. Or like the dude that he kicked and they turned into bones and his body flipped over the railing.
Yes.
I was like, yeah.
Well, the director, he started off in visual effects and makeup effects. So he worked under Stan Winston, Rick Baker, like the top guys. And knowing that and then watching it, it's like, oh yeah. I could see the makeup, the way he visualized certain scenes. Totally.
Yeah, like that was great. I said, oh my God. I was like, that's good. The scene in the train station when they're running in the train station.
Puts them on the thing.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, it looked cheesy, but I thought that was actually pretty cool for like a man. And then he cut his hand. Again. And he went, and
he runs away always makes me laugh. He like goes, and he like turns around and runs.
My thing that I laughed the best, like I laughed so hard, is when Steven Dorff, when he goes, you want me to go do? And he has all this thing that he throws in, and Steven Dorff goes, yeah, and then he got this, he goes, that, shut up. Because he knew what he was talking about. He's like, yeah, he got the gun, he has the knife that does this, and he goes, that.
Deacon Frost is hilarious.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. That was one of my funny scenes. But anyway, with that said, we gave it a 5 across the board. All right, storyline.
All right, here we go. I don't want to get controversial here. I don't want anybody to send me any hate mail. But I honestly think this story is just fine. Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's be really real. Let's get real here, Alex. Let's get real. This storyline is just fine. Like, it's just fine. It's not amazing. This movie's great and I love it. But it's not because it's an amazing storyline. Like, oh, this, they don't do it to me. And I love vampire movies. They don't do enough with the lore, in my opinion. They really don't. They just say stuff, when they introduce a familiar. Okay, he explains what that is. But then they don't really do enough to go into the history of how these vampires, have kind of attained what they have. He's walking with the girl and he just says, oh yeah, they own the police force and they're in the government and they're in the thing and they're in the that and they're in the construction or whatever. And that's it. They just say, that's it. That's all you get. Like, they're in it. Okay. I would understand. They've been around for a long time, but like, I feel like a little bit of more lore would have helped. I think Steven Dorff's motivation is, I hate that. I hate the whole blood god thing and it's not explained at all. La Magra. What is it? It's going to be where these guys line up and they get hit by lightning bolts and then their skeleton fly out of them. Like, I don't know. I feel like they didn't explain it good. Also, the real reason that I give this score what it is, it's the third act. It is the most boringest third act. I think the first 2 acts of this movie are great. I do. Like, leading up to, and you're like, okay, we're going to get some good, this third act, we're going to get some information. We're going to get some action. No, they go to this stupid tomb thing and they're there. It feels like they're there for an hour, honestly. Like, it really slows down a lot. I gave it a 3. I know it sounded more negative than a 3, but it's a 3. It's good. The first 2 acts are great. I love the whole detective kind of thing where they're trying to figure, like, where is Deacon Frost? I love when they go to Pearl and they fry him with that thing, that big blob of a vampire. Oh, yeah. His little voice and stuff. And then he still tries to act like he doesn't know. He's like, well, they didn't tell me. He gets fried again. Like, you know, I love all that. But then the end result to me is just like, ugh, it's kind of a whimper. So I gave it a 3.
All right. So you said something.
Here we go.
That I agree with. It's boring. I'm sorry. The action scenes are great.
Yes.
Blade is amazing.
Yes.
My God, the storyline is boring as hell. I was falling asleep. I had to see the movie in 2 parts because we started watching it one day before. So like the first day we watched it, I was like, yeah, this is cool. Halfway through the movie, I started to fall asleep and I was like, all right, I got to watch this. So I was like, we're going to watch it tomorrow morning. And we continue watching it. And even my wife said, she goes, you know what? She goes, this movie is good for what it is. Yeah. But she goes, the storyline is not. It's not. Like, it's just not. And I was like, yeah, I couldn't even. You're right. It's like useless information in this movie. And yeah, I agree. There's stuff that's a hit or miss here and there. Like Blade's mom coming. Like, what the fuck did that come from? Like, Blade's mom was alive after giving birth. Like, okay, great, she's a vampire. I understand. But, like, that didn't resolve well. Like, he stabbed her. Which I was just like, you should have just did it before. This made no damn sense now. You're right. Stephen Dorff's like motivation made no yeah, okay, I understand where he's coming from. We're at the top of the food chain and all this BS he was talking about.
Yeah.
But like the elder vampires, the purebloods didn't do shit to him. And I literally, and I don't want people to be like, oh, you're nitpicky. I'm not nitpicky. It's a very boring movie. We're going to do 2 other movies into this franchise that I think did 3. I believe 2 had the best storyline. And I don't want to give away everything to anybody, but just to be honest, 2 had the best storyline between the 3.
I agree.
I think since this is the first of the franchise, it catapulted the movie IP. Great. But honestly, you can't tell me that you sat there going, this is a great story.
Amazing story. A great tale of vampires across generations. No, it ain't.
No, it's not. It's not good at all. Like it could be me. Maybe other people think differently or whatever. Yeah, this is a boring story, and it's crazy because like we rewatched it I rewatched it when the 4K came out, and I was like, wow, this is actually pretty good. But when you slap breaking down each of the parts, that's where you hurt the movies.
Yeah,
and it did not work for me. So anyway, I gave it a 2 for decent story.
All right.
I think it's a decent story.
I respect it.
You gave it a 3 for good.
Yeah.
Overall.
Well, here's where we're going to go back up a little bit because at the end of the day, you know what this movie has that it may not have a great story and it may be kind of boring at times, but you know what this movie actually really is super cool. It is a cool flick. And this is pre-Matrix. Like Matrix came out in 99. This came out in 98. You know, the whole black leather in the clubs, the techno music, like that became super popular shortly after this. And I feel like this was a little ahead of its time, honestly. I think it's super cool. I think Blade is a cool character. Wesley Snipes nails it. I love Whistler. I think Whistler's an awesome character as well. Yeah. As like his white dad who like helps him out and does stuff with him, you know? As his white dad, I think he's great. I love Chris Christopherson too in the role. Like I think he's really good. So yeah, it's a really cool movie. It looks cool aesthetically. I think it's shot really well. I think the action scenes are shot well. Again, I love anytime Blade, like Stephen Norrington really made this guy look like $1 million. Every time when he shows up in the bloodbath and you just get his foot and then it pans up and he looks awesome. Then when even when he's talking with her and he puts the sword, like the way he puts his sword behind his back and everything, cool. When he jumps off the thing and lands on the thing and looks up, cool. Like he looks cool all the time. So there's a lot of elements I still really enjoy about this movie. But as a grown-up, I don't like it as much as I did when I was a kid, but I still like it. I will definitely watch this movie again in the future at some point. The action scenes are killer. I gave it a 4 overall. I really enjoy this movie, and I do have a lot of nostalgia for it. That could factor in, so whatever. But I think it's got a great lead character, great action. It's just, don't watch it for the story. It's one of those movies where if you go on your phone and like Google stuff, you won't miss anything. Just look up when they start fighting, and you'll be fine, pretty much. So I still gave it a 4.
Yeah, I mean, look, you're right. I gave this movie a 4. This movie's not cool, my friend. This movie has something that I call the itchy yaya. This movie's really
Put that on a t-shirt.
I'm gonna put that on a t-shirt. This movie has the itchy yaya. In terms of action is what made this movie amazing. The bloodbath scene is what made it amazing. Blade's like wittiness when he's speaking to this girl is actually pretty funny.
Yeah.
And the way he talks is actually pretty funny with Blade. Because it's not like a typical like action hero, superhero talk. It's like, girl, you better know what you're talking about. Right?
You're right.
It's like one of those like I don't know what you call it, like a hip, not hip, but like a gangster.
Tell them it's open season on all suckheads. But the way he says that line, like if you say that line a different way, people are gonna be like, "What a cornball!" But the way he says it, it's like it sounds cool, even though he called them suckheads.
Yeah, he's like a gangster, and I loved it the way he said it. And there's this one scene in the movie that I got so hyped thinking part 2 was gonna do it. It's the last scene, man, when they're in Russia and he's in the snow, and he was like, what did he tell the guy? He was like, it's open season, I can see. Or something weird like that.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, this dude's about to whoop ass in Russia,
And even
bro.
that last pose he does, and then the movie ends. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I want to see what's gonna happen.
I think this movie's, again, I gave it a 4 because I'm gonna continue watching the movie. I think it's a great film, but you're right. It's a boring ass story, but everything else makes up for it.
Agreed.
Him fighting the girl, he's getting his ass kicked, he gets tased, his mother comes back, he throws the liquid that blows them up with the coagulant. I was like, you know what? I think that was pretty cool. And I like the way he did it, though. It was, tell me how pimp that was.
Yes.
How he pimped it. The last one, he grabbed it and he threw it in the air and he kicked that shit into the dude's head. I said, yo,
forehead. Yes.
let me just tell you, it is one of the best, most gangster endings I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yes.
Because I never seen that. Like the dude gets hit up with all of them and he's like, ah. And then he just grabbed the last one and he threw it and then he just kicked that shit super hard into the dude's head. And I was like, yo, I want to be Blade. I want him to bite me in the neck. Like I was like, I want to be your blood bank, my friend.
Now,
like,
before we give our total point, let me ask you, have you ever seen the original ending of the movie?
no.
Okay.
No.
So the original ending, and it was cool too, don't get me wrong. This version of the fight is better than the original, is horrible.
Okay.
It's like the freaking, the Steven Dorff, there's like all this blood and like he's floating around in it like a ghost. Like it is atrocious. But the very last shot in the original ending is awesome. So it's Blade and the girl, he kills him, they leave. They're talking on the rooftop. And it's like outside, it's like, sun is coming down and they're talking on a rooftop and he's basically like, I got to go to work. I got to keep doing what I do. She's like, well, it looks like you're about to have to clock in or something like that. And they pan over to another rooftop and Michael Morbius is standing on it. And he's like standing there and like he has like a jacket. It's kind of blowing. And so they were setting up like Morbius versus Blade, which would have been awesome. Way better than the actual Morbius movie we got. But Marvel, they were going to use the tie-in of the vampire and that would have been so sick. I mean, the ending we got is still sick, but I thought that could have been potentially something really cool, but they ended up deleting it.
That's why. Maybe the licensing or something?
I don't know. I know they didn't cast an actor in the role. The director actually put on the costume and went and stood on the rooftop. It's like a wide shot. You can't really, but it was Michael Morbius. I don't think so. I think once they changed creative teams for the second movie, and we'll talk about that then, they just went in a whole other direction, which it works, but still.
Way better, yeah.
But it could have been also cool to see him fight. Even if part 3, when we get to that, Morbius would have been a better villain.
Maybe. Oh, yeah. You never know. All right. What's your total points?
Oh, my total points are 21 out of a 25. Love this movie. Loved it since the 7th grade when I first saw it. Memorable, like I said. Super memorable scenes. The fat guy, memorable, getting fried with the flashlight. I'll never not remember it. The bloodbath scene, memorable. And Steven Dorff turning into a big bubblegum and exploding, memorable. 21 out of 25.
Yeah, I gave it a 20 out of a 25. I think the movie still holds up. I think it's great. It's just the storyline is just blocks.
And it's 2 hours. It should have been 90 minutes.
Very draggy.
Should have been 90
Very
minutes.
draggy movie.
Yeah. Could have cut out some
My
stuff.
favorite scene, I didn't say my other favorite scene though, before we go, is when the girl, when he goes to get, what's his name? The guy who gets burnt because he burns him. And he goes back to the hospital and he bites the girl. Yeah. And then when the cop shot him, he goes, motherfucker, what you think you do?
that part too. He's so mad. He's like, "Why are you shooting me?" It's so funny.
The way he says, he's like, "Motherfucker, what you think you're doing?"
Yes. That is a great scene too. See, he had a bunch of great moments like that.
He did. My only thing with that lead up is that he threw her across the roof, and I was just like, yeah, that did not look good. But I always like that scene. It's always so funny because he gets really mad, like,
he shot
because he got shot up, but like it was just so funny. And then the cops still ran off. That was funny. Oh man! But anyway, Nate, what is coming up next?
Okay, so next week we are continuing with next episode, sequel month, where we are doing sequels of movies we reviewed months and years ago in some cases, and we're going to be doing Kick-Ass 2, which I believe is a first-time watch for you. So we're going to be doing that, and then of course next week, Blade 2. I love me some. I'm calling it right now. I don't care. Spoiler alert. I love me some Blade 2. So very excited to I haven't seen it in a long time, but I love it.
Question: do you know who directed it?
It's Guillermo del Toro.
That's why everybody likes it.
One of the best.
That's why everybody likes it.
That's why it's amazing, because that guy knows how to tell a story. That's why.
Well, he knows how to tell a story, and he knows how to make them visuals look great. And
I want to watch it right now. I feel like putting it in now and then watching it again right before. That way I could just have it soaked into my brain.
And I'm not going to give away as much, but I would say this, though. When anyone thinks of Blade or talks about Blade, it's always Blade 2. They always talk about Blade 2. That's like the staple of what Guillermo del Toro stamped on that franchise.
Well,
which they should have kept him for 3, but whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah. Part 3 was directed by David Goyer, who wrote this first one. He's a terrible director. He's a mediocre writer and a terrible director. So
that movie is a bad writer.
Triple H, baby. So that'll be in 2 weeks to get some Triple H.
All right. Anyway, with that said, guys, if you want to follow us in our social media accounts, please follow Nate over Instagram at NateFlix Reviews. Check out the podcast with him and his friends called NateFlix Movie Reviews. Anything Action Movie Guys, head over to Instagram at Action Movie Guys Podcast, or follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/Geeks and Flicks for video versions of the podcast or anything we do, whether it's out boutique label reviews or out of the theater reviews or 4K disc reviews, and in our lives every other week. You guys can check out some fun stuff there. Other than that, I'm your host, Alex Figueroa. He is
Nate from NateFlix Reviews.
Be awesome to each other and geek out.